So let me introduce myself. Oh, thank you. This is my assistant, Misaki-san.
Hello.
She will help me to show how to posing, and maybe sometimes she will help also. So, at first, maybe someone don't know who I am. I'm Pugoffka. I'm a photographer and cosplayer from Ukraine, from Kiev. I started my photography career about 7 years ago, and from that time I took about 700 photo shoots. So I want to share with you my experience for these years, and maybe it will be useful for you. So let's start. We will talk about the main topics: how to start preparations for photo shoot, and the main posing, the main rules of posing. So, first of all, when you start to planning photo shoot, you should choose the location. I think that location play a big role in your photo shoot, because it's very important to show your character in the same conditions like in anime. So, first of all, you should choose. It will be outside photo shoot, on the nature, on the street, somewhere on the location, or it will be indoor photo shoot, because for different places you need different stuff. Camera, flashes, reflectors. So you need to discuss with the photographer the place, first of all, and how to choose the location. Also, you should need to choose the day time. So it will be, if you choose outside location. So it will be photo shoot with sunset, because on the first photo, left photo, you can see I took photos on the beach with difficult light. It's most also important thing, because all newbies, when starting make photo shoots, they think that it's the best way go to the sunny day and make photo shoots, but it's wrong, because you have really strong shadows on your face, and it's not so good, and it's very difficult to edit it. So on sunny day I often use flashes on the full power. Or I use reflector, but I use reflector not so often, because reflector makes model cries and all makeup fall down, and it's also not so good. So I don't like to use reflector, but flashes is okay. And in the daylight I use full power, and when I took photo shoot on the sunset, I use its middle power or something like that. Also, it's a big difference when you use background with not so contrast background. And you also need to make more lights on the. For example, for this tree, you also need to light it. And I like to make photo shoots on the when sun goes down, and sunset, yes, but without sunset. And midnight, twilight. And I often use one front flash and two or maybe one back flashes to color the background. And if you started photographer, no, newbie photographer, so the best way to start it to learn how to make photo shoots, you should start at cloudy day, because it's not so hard shadows on your face and not so strong light, and it's much easier to make photos. And my favorite time of the day when I like to make photo shoots is full dark, when I can use flashes with maybe some special effects or not sure. No. Then you should choose to interesting location. No, for example, for me it's a big problem when I have a lot of photo shoots with the same fandom. When Attack on Titan was very popular in Ukraine and Russia, I took about 5 or 6 photo shoots on this fandom, so I needed to choose different locations. No, first of all, we used a wall, and also we went to horse club and rent horses. For each photo shoot, it's very good when you can find something new. And this photo shoot was in old hospital, and this one in simple in the forest. But it's not so interesting to make photo shoots in the forest. So you should to add something special. So we used smoke bombs for it. And no, it's really easy to find natural locations, wall or something like that. But for me, it's more difficult to find futuristic locations, because we have not so much futuristic buildings. But if you also, I know that in Sofia you have now so much buildings like. No.
Why we live near futuristic buildings?
Yeah, we live near. But you can use maybe stairs like that. Also, I very often make photos in photo studios, but also in Europe, it's not so much photo studios with interiors. No, for example, in Moscow, they have a really big, huge photo studio. It has about 30 maybe different interiors. Locations like circus, like church, like castle, like snow. And you should choose nice locations that suit your character. Well, for example, it's Cart of the Sand in the sand. Yeah, in the desert. And Princess of the Snow in the snow. And Doll in the circus. And special effects. Of course, you saw a lot of photos on the internet, and it's very difficult to make something new. But you can try. I like to use special effects. First of all, I like to use smoke, I like to use flying petals, some sparkles, what else? Special effects.
Like some confetti.
Yep. No, for this, when you use smoke, you should use 2 lights because if you don't use the backlight, it's not so visible. So on this photo you can see that I use front flash and back flash with orange filter. So we can see the smoke. Also you can combine smoke and lights, and we made wall with paper wall with thing. I don't know.
Clothes.
Yep, and we use the smoke machine, and we put the light behind the wall, and we can see the effect. This is side. For this we didn't use backlight, but we used colored smoke. It was green or something like that. And you can use also Bengal lights, but it's didn't give you so much sparkles. If you want to make more sparkles on your photo, you should take Bengal lights more closer to the lens.
But do not burn lens.
And also I like to make very dynamic photo. I like when all parts of the costume can fly and all hair can fly. But you should remember, for photo shoot like this, you need to have assistance, and it's very important thing because you cannot.
A lot of people for help, because with one friend you cannot do like this, because here
No, we for this photo we ask about 4 people to help me. Yeah. Also, one assistant need to be for photographer, one assistant for cosplayer, and much more. And splash. Just this photo was took about 3 years ago, and now I see the mistake on this photo, that it's very dynamic when guy makes something like, and but girls' hair don't fly. It's a big mistake. You should remember that if some parts of your costume flying, your hair also should be flying. And when you cannot use the smoke, in some reasons, you can use a flour for baking. You can use it, and you can receive different effects. Yes, when you use flash backlight, you can see that it looks like this. It's like snow, but not like something like smoke. And this is his backlight in flower. And also you can use everything to fly, like sparkles, like stars, like petals, feathers, everything. The most big problem for on the left photo, you can see that A4 paper flying, but A4 paper flying very bad. You should know this, and you should make much smaller pieces of paper to make flight much better. And on the right photo you can see petals, also with a back flashlight. And again, the main thing, how to make your photos more interesting, because it's a lot of interesting photos on the internet, and I don't know, it's not a big problem in Sofia to find a horse. I very often use animals for photo shoots, like owls, wolves, yeah, it looks real, and snakes, and spiders.
Pugoffka hates spiders.
Yeah, I hate spiders. I'm
For
afraid.
photo shoot,
But
she did it.
for good photo, I can do this. And about posing. First of all, you should decide your character is more cutie or more
Сам сорвешь, так начинает брать камеру.
or brutal, like manly. And for different characters, I use different light. For example, for first one, I use light from two sides to make face without shadows. And on the second photo, you can see a lot of shadows. I used only one light from the behind, not from the side. Yes, and one from the back. Yeah, it makes different atmosphere on the photos. Yes, and you know that very often your characters wear glasses. And you should remember that when photographer use flash, it will be flare on your glass. Yes. So, if it's possible, you should to put it off. And all cosplayers or people ask me how to look better on the photo. And you should know that people looks very good, the best, when they turn in 3/4 to the camera. Sure. Like this.
Like this.
Yeah, like this. And if your character cutie, you should know that to make character more cutie, photographer need to be upper higher than the cosplayer, so it makes your eyes bigger and your chin more thin and lips more smaller and cutie. And also you can get this effect if you use a wide angle lens. And remember that different emotions on the photo makes your photos, your characters more different. And this is one of my favorite models. I took made a lot of photo shoots for this girl. This is Rin, and she also tried to make each character looks different, because you choose different characters, but your face stays the same. So you should do something with your face.
Try.
Yeah, try to not look similar on the photos, because after photo shoot, one moment, sorry. When you cosplay a lot of characters, of course, a lot of people come to your photos and start in comments that, oh, the same face on all photos, it's very bad. So, try to, in front of the mirror, before the photo shoot, you should to try different emotions and see how it looks. Because sometimes, cosplayers like to make photos like, this, but it looks like, no, sometimes it looks like not good. And the same person with different location, emotions, cutie, meh, meh, broken. Yeah. Yeah, the same. Sexy, evil, angry. Yes. And also cosplayers often ask me about hands because the biggest problem for cosplayers if they haven't some props, what to do with hands. So you should know the main rules, what you can do and what can do on the photos. Stand up. When you put your hand on the birth, hips, you should remember that most of your fingers should be turned to the camera, not like this. Yeah, wrong. Like this. And also, don't. Don't separate your fingers so much, like. Try to make it together, like this. But sometimes if it fits your character, like Lelouch, like that, it's normal, and you can do it. And also, you should make your hands busy, often busy. You should try to use some props, do maybe something, some wall. You can touch it. You can touch your hair. You can touch everything. Because when you stay like soldier, it's not so good on the photo. And also you should remember about that men's poses and women's poses different. For women, it's more flexible, and you should difficult word. One moment. You should bend all what you can bend. Don't stay like this. Remember to stay like a bit like this. No. But not like this. Like this. Yes. And also you should, if you want to be more slim on the photo, you should be turned to the camera in 45 degrees. Not degrees. 45 degrees. Okay. So, and also remember about legs. Oh, it's this weapon. About legs. When you sit, don't squeeze the legs under the chair because it looks not so good. And it looks shorter. Yes. And stand. Also, you should turn and bend the leg a bit. Make cutie poses. Yeah. And also about hands, one moment. When you try stand like this, don't turn this balloon. No, like this, but not like this. This is right, this is no. And if camera in the front of you, yeah, don't do this. Because it makes your hands shorter, and sometimes it looks like it's grown from the wrong place on your body. And when you can sit, or can sit on the pole. Типа, помнишь подгибать ногу? No, for Japanese it's okay, but sit на бок, yeah. And don't squeeze your leg under you because on the photo, no, one leg, there, and one it looks like you have no leg on the photo. Yes, so you should remember to do like this. Also, if you want to make your photo, your legs longer, ask your photographer if maybe he has a wide angle lens, and if he make photo from the low point, it makes your legs more longer. But it's a problem when your legs come to the lens and it makes it looks like 45 size. So don't do this. And about weapon, it's do you know a lot of characters has a weapon, and of course you shouldn't know how to professional fighting with katana, for example, but you should know the main poses only. It's okay for the photo. Like this, like this, and it's very nice for photo shoot when your characters has weapon, because you can do more interesting photos with it. Yes, that's all. Yes, and I don't know what. Maybe you have questions. You can ask me or Sai. She's a good model, and I'm more photographer. So if you have questions, you can ask. That's me.
This is all very interesting. Can you tell us more about the special effects that you use in photography? Like, for example, the liquid smoke, this smoke that you use. How do you use it? What is it? How is it packed?
Oh, it's really easy. You can buy small bombs. It's also football fans use some smoke also. But be careful and don't buy military smoke, because one day we used it in the city and it was 2 kilometers of black smoke, and often we use you don't need so much smoke for photo. You can use little biscuits. You can find it on eBay or somewhere in internet shops. It's very cheap, and for photo also you can not buy colored smoke. You can just use backlight with filters and color it.
Editing the photos. Can you give us some advice on editing the photos after you've taken them?
Sure. About this?
About editing the photos in post-production.
Post-production. I have a special workshop for about editing. No, I spent about I edit photos always in Photoshop. For each photo I need about 15-20 minutes. I have some tutorials. I hope it will be soon on my YouTube channel. Maybe soon, maybe not. For cosplayers, how to edit photos very in easy way. How to use partiture. No, for example, now I know that a lot of cosplayers have a lot of photos and they don't know what to do with them after. So I already made one video tutorial, but I need to add some English subtitles because my English sorry not so good, but I try my best. So and you should please don't try when you can see a lot of tutorials on the YouTube about editing, and don't use difficult techniques. You can use some simple maybe partiture. Do you know what is it? Partiture. It's a plugin for Photoshop. You only just it's like Instagram. You can dig it, click and use different change some points, and you can see how your skin become lighter, shiny, blue. You can add blue, you can add more shadows. So yeah, editing is a special topic. Yeah. More?
Oui.
Да.
Я на русском спрошу, а ты для них можешь ответить на английском? Хорошо. Ну, вопрос такой. Я видела у тебя фотки моей подруги, ты сейчас показывала. Ты их делала в студии? Сейчас.
She asked about no photo with sparkles, with girl with cats on the hands and sparkles with Bengal lights. And where I did it? I did it on the street in the evening, and we used two lights. And also she asked about if I do some photos on the conventions, but I don't like make photos on the conventions. I don't like. I can do it. I can work. 2 or 3 years ago, I often work on the photo point on the events, but I don't like it. No, do you know? I don't like the same background. I need to change it. But on our conventions, we have no so. Any conventions have no so good locations for photo shoots. But I don't like so much to make photos on the cons. Too difficult. Yeah. No? Yeah? That's all? No? Okay, thank you very much guys for coming. Thank you. And if you want to come to me and take selfie and hug, you can do it. So, and also I will sell prints. So if you're interested, come to my booth and speak with me, make selfies, and I'm happy that you're coming. Thank you very much.